Good afternoon and welcome to this special edition of The Pulse. My name is Elton Brobe and today we're coming to you live from the office of the Ashanti Regional Minister. He is a medical doctor and a politician, young and vibrant, leading a very politically hostile region but delivering on the promise made to Ghanaians by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. My guest this afternoon is Dr. Frank Amoakohene, the Ashanti Regional Minister. Dr. Amoakohene, you are welcome to The Pulse.
Thank you very much.
And it's really good to see you. I mean, you are everywhere, on social media, everywhere, and you are giving meaning to young individuals in leadership positions.
Precisely the point.
And sometimes I wonder the drive.
It's a privilege to get the opportunity to serve Ghana and, for that matter, Ashanti region at a very young age.
Right.
So it's an opportunity I don't want to take for granted. And I want to do it to the best of my ability so that we will have more reasons to include the youth in leadership. The reason for which you see me attending to almost every problem.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, what did the president tell you before accepting this job?
I asked him directly what he needs me to do in the region. All he told me was that make me proud. So at any point in time, when I need to take any major decision, I just need to consult him. At times he asks of, what do you think? You are in charge of the region, what do you think? Then I run it by him. Once he's okay with that, I just go ahead and implement it to the best of my ability.
And then coming up here, I saw pictures of former regional ministers. I mean, Star Wars, some late, some still living, and you are fitting so well into their shoes. How difficult is it to lead a very politically hostile region like the Ashanti region?
So the first thing was to learn from those who have walked the path earlier. So you remember my first days in office, I had the opportunity of meeting almost all the former regional ministers.
Great.
And I took every single word they spoke and they uttered very seriously. But if not for anything, you can learn from their successes and their challenges so that you'll be able to overcome their challenges and also be able to improve on the vision they had and how they were able to survive in the region. And they have also equally been a good backbone, especially in able to consult them when there is a need to do so. Equally, His Excellency the President, though he's not directly in the region, but he's very experienced when it comes to matters of local government and public governance. So he's been there for me. I'm his last born, so anytime, every time, he has to make sure I'm on the right track. So far with that support, I've been able to navigate the challenges. And
sometimes are you careful with your steps because of the environment you find yourself in?
When you're too careful, you make mistakes. Be yourself. Live life as it is. And just be proud and know that the decisions you are taking are right. That is it. If you want to be too careful, you make grave mistakes.
But we are in the Ashanti region, a commercial hub. And so what is the vision as far as you are concerned? I know the government has its own plans, but you are leading it. What is the vision to make Kumasi what it used to be?
So in any space I have found myself, the first thing is to profile the space and look at the strengths and the weakness and the opportunities as it were a SWOT analysis. This region is centered almost at the middle of the country. So those moving from the north to the south go through the region in a similar manner across east to west. So it means that we are unique in our diversity. And if someone is going to Accra to make a purchase of anything and find same in Ashanti, there is no need going all the way to Accra. It applies from all the other angles. So profiling the region, I realized that our trade industry within the local economy, our creatives, and then our agric areas. These are the key areas that makes us stand out. Of course, our culture.
Right.
So I needed to see how best I would be able to harness these strengths to be able to drive the other sectors as well. So if you've realized, especially the creatives areas and the culture aspect of the region, I don't belittle those areas and I give them all the support I need to give, because once the region is on the map and it's in the news, people will want to find out what is really unique about the region, for which reason is always in the news. They will travel from all walks of life to come into the region. When they come, they'll definitely buy, they'll definitely spend. And once they do that, the local economy definitely grows. So these are things I looked at and the key areas we are paying attention to.
But there are issues of infrastructure deficits. There's Wankra, I don't even know when Wankra will be operational. There are health challenges in the region. What is the plan? Perhaps you can start with Wankra.
So, with the infrastructural inputs in the region, what we have realized is that usually successive governments do not have the political will continuing projects by previous governments. His Excellency the President has been emphatic that irrespective of the government that started whichever project, is going to ensure its completion. The reason for which we see Krofro market and all these other markets and other infrastructure being worked on. Wankra work is still ongoing, and we are hopeful that we should be able to complete them as soon as possible. I don't have the timeline, so I would not want to give that detail. But from my interaction with the site manager and the contractor, work is still ongoing. And the challenges as they come up, I speak with the trade ministry, and we are able to resolve them. And
as a medical doctor, I'm sure health delivery obviously will be one of your priorities. And before the election, the MPP administration commissioned what was to be one of the Agenda 11 hospital project. As we speak, is yet to be operational. The Afari Hospital, that's the military hospital, also yet to come into fruition. How are you leading to actualize it so that the pressure on Kwamfanoche is lessened?
Thank you. So you don't commission awaiting operationalization. I believe that if you are not done, you are not done. If you are done, you are done. Otherwise, you would encourage me to go and commission Krofro Market, awaiting its operationalization. They were not done with any of that in the 111 hospitals. And clearly, when we started the administration, the Minister of Health came around. We toured all these hospitals, and they were not completed. Thankfully, we've been able to operationalize 3 of them. Kedie, Swami, and Robonso. Okay. Recently, I visited some few others that are under construction. Kokobin under the Ofurukrum municipality, one at Ahafwano Southeast, another at Ahafwano Southwest, Chumangobiejan North, and then the last one was at Echima Mpunia. These are the ones I have visited myself daily. The Minister of Health is committed in making sure that we complete these ones because we were not so happy when they abandoned Afari, Sewua, and all the other hospitals His Excellency the President John Mahama started in the previous administration. So work is still ongoing in most of these hospitals, especially that of Kokobin, which is close to 95%. So at least we've been able to operationalize 3. If the Kokobin one...
And these are the Agenda 11 hospitals?
Yes.
Okay.
If the Kokobin one is also completed, then it will add up to 5. The others work are still ongoing. Those that are really at either the 40s or the 50s, i.e. Ahafwano Southeast, Ahafwano Southwest, the President made a call for religious groups that are interested in running or having a model to run a PPP agreement with the government in helping us complete these projects to come on board. Again, citizens who equally are interested in investing in the health space to come on board so that we would be able to complete most of these ones that are at a very low level of completion so far as the constructions are concerned.
And we are told that they get referrals from almost 8 regions.
Almost 8 regions. And we sat with the regional health director together with the CEO, the new CEO for Kwamfanoche, to map out those hospitals that do rampant referrals to Kwamfanoche and see how best we'll be able to send consultants and residents down to those hospitals instead of referring the patients. Because it was becoming unbecoming when we got the when that patients will have to queue waiting for theater space. When we have other theater space within some district hospitals well equipped and with the needed personnel or consultant, they should be able to carry out some of these surgical procedures. So we have mapped out those plans so that we can get the consultants to rather go to some of these hospitals that do frequent referrals, all in an attempt of reducing the pressure on Kwamfanoche. Now, once we're able to do that, then we'll now be able to go in and do major interventions as Royal Majesty 2 for wants us to heal Komfo-Anokye in that regard. The maternity block, as you mentioned, was started years ago.
1975.
Yes, and His Excellency the President, I remember clearly when Otufo visited His Excellency the President, he made mention of his commitment in helping us complete that maternity block. That also includes the Komfo-Anokye, KNUST Hospital.
Right.
It's also been abandoned for so many years. His Excellency the President has equally indicated commitment in supporting us to be able to complete that. So that should let you know that the President has his eyes on Ashanti, for which reason we are very hopeful that with same commitment we should be able to lift the health infrastructure here to a different level. But
the maternity block, I mean, from your expert view, it's been standing for close to 50 years now. Is it the case that a new one will be built, or this one will be renovated to? I mean, the structural integrity has been questioned.
Exactly. So the contractors and the experts will give us a report on the structural integrity test. Once that is done and it passes, why not? We go ahead. When I remember the team from the Hill Komfo-Anokye, when they were about to renovate the maternity block, the other blocks or the other wards,
right,
they had to conduct a structural integrity test. Those structures are far older than that of the maternity one, but they passed. So we will not want to underestimate the structures as it is. We wait for the expert reports and we'll be able to know the way forward.
All right. And then because you touched on the Afari Hospital and the Defense Ministry, and I mean, when I said I'm coming to talk to you, a lot of questions I got from people was, I mean, we would like to find out your first reaction when you got the news of the death of our compatriots. I mean, we're watching you live on Joy News at the illegal mining program, and then you said there was an emergency you needed to attend to, and then that was, for a lot of people, the icebreaker for that particular incident. How difficult was it, especially when you got to the scene?
I think that we are all trying to forget. And it's good for our emotional health and psychological health. So I may not want to delve back into most of these things. They bring back difficult memories. So I would rather want us to focus on moving forward. And moving forward, yesterday we were at the community to show appreciation to the youth and the leaders who supported us in those difficult moments. And I'm happy that they are glad that we showed up. Initially, there were a lot of concerns as to whether we would go there or not.
Right.
But we're waiting for the president to finish most of the processes he wanted us to go through. So thankfully yesterday, we were there to show appreciation to the community. For most of the things that occurred within the process, I'm sure we've had a lot of commentaries, a lot of remarks, a lot of reviews, and I think that I want to leave it as it is.
I mean, your role was quite significant. A medical doctor also leading the team to this particular incident. But I mean, did you recover every part of the helicopter?
So the parts of the helicopter, as we went there, was in pieces, scattered in the forest. So unless the investigation team is able to recreate the scene with the parts that are available, then they would be able to tell us whether or not all the parts have been retrieved or not. But the information we sent out earlier, which helped us, was to provide a ransom for the community folks to return the parts for that ransom, and it really helped us. Okay. So as we speak now, they indicate that all that was in the possession of the youth have been returned. Yesterday when we went to the community, we made mention of the same call, that if you still have any of these equipment or parts in your possession, let us still have it. So the investigation team definitely will come out with a reconstruction of the scene, the craft, and be able to tell us whether there's still some left. There are still some left.
But do they have access to their farms now?
We never blocked access to the farms.
Okay.
So the perimeter was around the forest zone, where, and see, it's really deep into the forest,
right?
Like 2 hours walk on foot. So when you are going, you definitely navigate through farms before you actually start entering the forest. So there are cocoa farms all the way to the border of the forest reserve. So all these areas are still accessible to the farmers. The areas that are not accessible are just some few kilometers around where the site actually, the crash occurred. So we have not inconvenienced them in terms of access to their farms. And yesterday, I made mention of saying that they can still access their farms as they access. However, in the forest, you are not expected to do any farming activities or to be there gerrymandering or doing any other activities over there. So in the forest, you're not expected to be there, but in their farms, they're expected to go.
But because this happened in Ashanti region, let me ask what lessons we are drawing from this in terms of future, how we deal with aviation-related accidents.
So with these, from where I sit, there is less we could do to avert the issue from where we sit. Maybe the aviation industry may speak to their craft maintenance and any other issue that may come up from their investigation. But from where we sit, it's just in the forest. And there is less preparation that you can make to take care of all the forests we have in the region. All I can say is that maybe the road network to that town, because when we were going, it was a bit of a challenge. So when we visited the area, before even we visited yesterday, I had spoken to the Honorable Road Minister, and he had found some money for a road contractor who is working on the road network. So that is what I may want to advocate for, that we are able to, because all those areas, especially for cocoa production, all those areas are areas where we receive a lot of our cocoa inputs from. So we should be able to, as it were, construct most of these roads so that in case of any of these accidents, road access to these communities will not be of a challenge. I want to thank His Excellency the President, the Road Minister, for helping us with the Sikaman-Bufudu area and the enclave. Aside from that, I think that everything we needed for that rescue process was in place. Maybe in a very advanced state, maybe we needed to have helicopters coming in and all that. These are all commentaries I've seen out there. But I think that I'll leave that to maybe the aviation sector players to speak to that.
And maybe the outcome of the investigation may make some recommendations that may also go to address some of these things. But talking about roads, is the region benefiting, is the region taking its share from the government agenda to construct roads, especially in the 2025 budget and beyond? Kumasi and the Ashanti region, especially the Kumasi and Accra road, has become a hotspot for accidents. You should be concerned about the lives we are losing every day from road accidents. Most
definitely. I think Ashanti region is having the lion's share, because the president's time without number has indicated his commitment to completing the Accra-Kumasi highway. And beyond that, under the big push, has promised the Accra-Kumasi expressway, which avoids the major towns. So that once you are on the road, you know that you have no business at Suhum, you have no business at Konomo, and you'll be able to reach on time. Also a 3-lane to avoid head-on collisions among others. So I want to thank him for that political will in making sure that we are able to do the Accra-Kumasi highway and that of the expressway, as he has mentioned. Beyond that, under the big push, we are having the outer Kumasi ring roads being constructed. And we have started with the engagement and compensation process. So that one goes through Ejesu Abinasi all the way to Jaben, to Efijasi, to Efija Kwabre, such as south, to Efija Kwabre north, all the way into the Offensu road. The phase 2 will take the same route all the way through the Hafuano enclave, Achumampunia, or Achumakwanuma, Bekwai, then all the way back to Ejesu. So that the big and heavy duty tracks will avoid going through the central business area.
Especially Aunanga Junction.
Yes, so they don't have to go through Aunanga Junction. Beyond all this, town routes and the feeder roads and the urban roads are being constructed. So Ashanti region is not left out. And in, I think last week, I visited some of these areas where the contractors are back on site and are working. And to mention Barikesi to Offensu Road, which is the contractor is still on site and working. Tepa Town Road, the contractor is on site. So most of these areas, road constructions are still
and this plan appears to address the concerns of a lot of people before the 2024 elections, when the voters had issues with the way the MPP administration was going about constructing roads. But your plan appears to be addressing all of these concerns.
Most definitely. And you see, there is a stronghold of the MPP. So I think that they were not fair to the region. And especially the Accra-Kumasi Highway. They spent 8 years without doing much. Yet, with a call on His Excellency the President within these 8 months, much commitment has been made. The often call Achimota area, the road minister had to intervene and make sure work has resumed. So I believe that the region should have seen even much more development under the MPP than they saw in the past.
Do you think the MPP took the region for granted?
And it reflected in the results they had. So I think that the Ghanaians have casted a verdict on their performance in the region. I want to show that appreciation to the region by way of driving development into the region, so that they will know that His Excellency the President appreciates and deeply appreciates their inputs so far as that election 2024 was concerned.
You think in a region where at least 6 or 7 out of 10 people you meet are MPP, your style of leadership can help change the minds and get the region to tilt towards the NDC?
So what we're doing is to develop the region. And once you develop or go about the region's development with a clean heart, the results will definitely follow. And irrespective of the commentaries around, as you rightly mentioned, when you pick 10 people, 6 people are on the other side. So you get 6 people criticizing everything you are doing.
Right.
So you don't focus on the 6, focus on the 4. Once you are losing the 4, then you should be worried. But there is a situation where most research and most polls that have come into the region indicate that even most of the people among the 6 appreciate what His Excellency the President is doing in the region. So I believe so much that we are on the right track, and definitely with this commitment we should be able to make the region proud.
The results of the last election will suggest to you that things can change if done properly, because the MPP lost some seats that were originally traditional strongholds of the MPP. As we move towards 2028, you are confident that the trend may even be better?
Yeah, most definitely.
And that will depend on what?
The output of the government, which is quite positive for the past 8 months.
And you are certain that there is no antagonism against the people of the region because of their political affiliation by this government?
Oh, unless you don't understand politics. Ashanti region gives NDC the 2nd largest votes nominal, just after Greater Accra. So unless you don't understand the figures, that's when you look at things concerning the fact about the percentages and the balance. But any time the region rewards NDC anything beyond 30%, we are good to go. So it's not about having 80 or 70 or 60% from the region. No, it's about having what it takes to stabilize us to be able to win subsequent elections. And I'm very clear that His Excellency the President understands these games of numbers. The party leadership also understand the reason for which you realize that it's almost always Ashanti. Because we want to stabilize the votes here and be able to, as it were, get the others to support us when it comes to elections.
Let's talk about illegal mining, which is also a major concern for the region. I mean, it's giving the region a bad name. And what is the coordinating council doing in terms of helping government plan to deal with this menace?
We are supporting the Interior Ministry and the local government ministry. They were fighting it from the center. I've read today that they have withdrawn the team that was brought in by the IGP. And obviously, it was expected.
Why?
Because if you can hold me accountable for some of these things, then you should entrust the processing in the hands of the locals, the MCs, the DCs, the regional ministers, to be able to own the fight. It got to a point where they had less say in what was happening.
Because the decisions were taken at the top?
Yeah, decisions were taken.
Without any consultation to those on the ground?
Yeah. And it gave room for other teams to just come into the communities, cladded in uniforms, without recourse to any structure, in the pretense of fighting against illegal mining and extorting people. And was a key worry from the chiefs and the people from the ground. So I think that we should tax the MMDCs, we should tax the regional ministers and the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources to own the process. Then you can now do a reshuffle of any of these heads that are not able to, as it were, take the necessary and the bold steps in helping us fight this. And you see, we need to define our targets right. Which I support the call from day one, from His Excellency the President, that river bodies no-go area, forest reserves no-go area, mining by the roadside, awful. Those who mine in the communities and those who mine in cemeteries, these 5 areas, it shouldn't be taken lightly.
People have no respect for the dead.
I mean, it shouldn't happen. All the other areas, we need to engage and get the community cooperative mining scheme to them, so that they will be able to mine responsibly and will be able to regulate their activities. So I think that it's a call in the right direction. They should let the MMDCs own the fight so that they can be held responsible directly, because they are with the community folks. They would definitely have more information than any other person in Kumasi or in Accra will have.
Is this your suggestion, or this is the new approach?
No, this is the new approach. It's been announced. It's been announced today.
Okay, so which means that you, as regional minister and head of the Security Council, is responsible for the region, and then all the MMDs will have to now report to you.
Precisely, on every issue concerning security issues. And one concern, you see, we call for reviews of the strategies as we move on, is that anytime there is an illegal mining operation in the community, during the night period, there is an increased issues of robberies. So what it means is that wherever there will be an operation, you should be prepared security-wise to send in an additional team to help combat the ripple effects of having to go in these areas and going to clear them from the forest. And again, because we have removed most of these illegal miners into the communities, they were there with guns and arms. We need to offer them amnesty and get them to return those arms to our various police units.
What kind of amnesty?
So right now, if you have not licensed your gun and you bring it even to the police station, you can be arrested.
You won't be arrested, okay.
Yes, so I will either hide it in the community or in my room whatsoever. We need to give them a grace period and ask them to willfully submit them to the respective police stations, so that once they're able to do that within that period, you can be clear in your mind that no one is hiding any gun whatsoever in any of these areas. Otherwise, these guns are used to perpetrate other forms of fraud because they are not in use within the forest areas, within the river bodies, among others. Then we have to get the Small Arms Commission to be able to check local manufacturing of these arms and importation of these arms and be strict on sin, so that we will be able to have a good control over crime and its associated issues. So these are all issues that have come up from most of the reviews, and I'm sure that we would be able to have a very good control over the system.
But again, I mean, it will also put pressure on you as a minister. I know how resourceful these illegal miners are. I mean, some of the DCs have and cocoa farmers have come to say that sometimes the monies that these illegal miners promise them, it's difficult to look the other way. I don't know whether you also experiences such overtures just to look the other way and allow this illegality to go on.
Mining is not a bad thing, but irresponsible mining is what we are against. So the government cannot ban mining in its entirety, that no one should mine. But once you are mining, your activity should not negatively affect someone else who may not be involved in mining. That is the reason for which the intervention from the responsible cooperative mining has come in. So that team is expected to ensure that if you have decided to go into mining, then it should be done in a way that will protect the lands, protect the environment, and will be of importance to the next generation. So yes, people may want to opt and go into mining instead of going into cocoa farming. You cannot force everyone to go into cocoa farming. But once you want to do mining, you have to do it in line with the laws of the country. Once equally you want to go into any other business, you have to do it legally. The reason for which the government has made available the responsible cooperative mining, and they are mandated to making sure that anyone who opts to do mining do so rightfully under and in line with the laws of the country.
The Interior Minister is clear that any police commander under whose watch illegal mining is taking place will be transferred. What will be the fate of MMDCs who also are unable to control illegal mining in their areas?
It's a very difficult fight, and the president understands the issues. And anyone, and there's been a letter to that effect, any political head who is found being complicit, so far as these issues of illegal mining is concerned, definitely the president will show you an exit. And there should be good faith from all political heads towards this fight against illegal mining. So for MMDCs, definitely you may not have the luxury of transferring them like the police. So we would have to devise a new or a different approach towards him. And I'm sure that once we let them own the fight, they'll have the responsibility of directly responding and speaking to the issue. Because usually when issues happen, say in one of the decisions, you call the MC, oh, I didn't know anything about it. And rightfully so, you didn't know anything about it. How can I hold you responsible for something you didn't know anything about it? So I think that we need to change course as we have now, give them that responsibility and see what they can do. If they are not able to do that, I'm sure the president will advise himself on their...
What about your own party people who say that our government is in power and it's about time we also exploit the environment to advantage?
I don't believe in that. Anyone who is a party person will not want to give the government a bad name.
Your national organizer is being investigated by Yoko.
Being investigated or standing prosecution is not the same as being convicted. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by or convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. And that is the clear difference also between the government of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and other governments. Hardly would you get any government opening up to investigate his own officers. So once that is ongoing, it should tell you that the government has the political will in dealing with this issue. So I think that it should not be misconstrued as though government officials, party folks are the ones engaged in this. And you see, every miner now would never identify with the MPP.
No.
They will not do that.
At this stage.
They will not do that. They will definitely identify with the ruling government just to find favors and be able to push a certain narrative. But if you question them, how long have you been mining? Then you realize the timeline date as far back as that of previous or successive governments. Then you ask yourself, during those times, then this was not impossible. So how did you manage to be able to mine even under that regime? So it should tell you that they are smart people. They find ways to survive every regime. So for me, if you are an NDC person, a party person, and you love His Excellency the President and his government, you will definitely not do things that will bring disgrace to His Excellency the President and the government.
Let me touch on a few issues so that I can let you go. Linked to this is the claim that there are not jobs in the system. That's how come some of these young people would find themselves in illegal mining sites and work. I mean, there's a report suggesting that even school kids, females, are also engaged in illegal mining. What is the plan to deal with this?
It is no excuse. If you are trained as a nurse and you are not posted, would you say that there are no jobs? You're going to commit abortions and do illegal practice elsewhere in other areas? No. The fact that there are no jobs doesn't mean that you should take guns in your hands and go and rob. There's no excuse for that. And the problem over there is not the fact that there are no jobs. The problem is that there are no jobs that can pay as much as they see in the mining sector.
Right.
That is the actual problem. Okay. So I think that we are just finding reasons to ascribe and to justify the wrong that is ongoing. Thankfully, the President and the Lands Ministry has given an alternative through the cooperative mining. If you opt to do mining, do it in line with the laid down rules and the guidelines as provided by the cooperative miners.
Final two issues. What is the plan to build collaboration between your office and the traditional leadership here in the Ashanti region? A very powerful one.
That has been ongoing, and it's a daily affair. And Otunfo is my or let's say uncle or father or both, and he's my king. And I am from this region, and I know the culture and how we revere our king and our chiefs. And there's no difficulty serving your king, even as minister.
Right.
Usually when you have a difficulty serving the king as a political head of the region, that's where you have a problem. My appointing power, who is the president, even respects to Otunfo,
of course,
to the extent that if you see the kind of friendship between them, you realize that there's a very long-standing one. For which reason, who are you, a regional minister, to rub shoulders with the king? So, with this in mind, and the respect we have for the palace, we've been able to serve the traditional authorities well, and for which reason we've had a very good relationship with the traditional leaders well. And that also gives us credibility to solve some of the problems that comes out of chieftaincy, because they know that any decision that comes from you will not be a biased one, but will be a one that is of love to the culture and the tradition of the region.
Yeah, and you've got a big thing around your hands coming up very soon. Yeah. The demise of the Queen Mother.
I've had a lot this year.
Yes, I mean Mampong.
Yes,
right.
I have Mampong, Asokoi Mampong, chief also coming up. Then the biggest Ashanti Hema. But I'm hopeful that there will be light at the end of the tunnel. I'm sure, and I'm praying to God that after all these processes, we should see and count only joy.
But citizens always, especially in the region, always complain about lack of engagement between them and leadership. Under you, will that change?
I've been very accessible, as much as I should. I can say more than any other minister has ever been to their people. Because in most times you hardly even see the minister. But I'm very young, and I understand the role of the new community we find, especially when it comes to social media. And I give the opportunity for citizens to speak to me directly.
Right.
And I actually give an opportunity for citizens to book appointment online and get to meet with me.
Come and see
you. And it's helped me, because the point is that usually there's a leadership trap. They will put you in a siren from your home to the workplace, and put you again in a siren from your workplace and go back home. And
so there's always that disconnect.
Yes, you have the opportunity to witness what is happening. But engaging the people help you and offer you the opportunity to know the real situations as on the ground, and be able to solve issues that affect their daily work. You remember this week you commissioned a bridge at Kotokum. Okay. People may think that, oh, it's Kotokum bridge and interchange, but I can tell you they value it more than any other thing you may have done for them. So once you engage them and you are closer to them, you get to know the things that you can do for them that will make them appreciate and feel that they have a leader. Once they appreciate and have confidence that they have a leader, then you also be able to have the power to do things that will change their life in a very positive way.
But there has been too many fires in the region. Even yesterday, we are yet to recover from the Swami incident. I mean, what is going on? Is there an underlying thing that perhaps the citizens are not doing the right thing, or response level is so low that sometimes it's difficult to fight some of these fires?
Okay, so for these fire incidents, official investigations are ongoing. So I will not want to preempt the outcome. However, the plan and the establishment of these markets were done very old and very so many years ago.
But KDTI is new, and yet
no, KDTI had only one fire incident under the previous NDP administration. Right. In recent times, it's just pocket of fire incidents in shops, and the way it was designed, it makes it difficult to spread into different shops. The Adum PZ has been a very old settlement.
Right.
It has a similar, or the Swami market had a similar structure like that of the Adum PZ. No car exit and entry points, no access for fire tender and all that. And the same reason for which they could not put the fire out in town, in time, so far as the Swami issue is concerned. But thankfully, they were able to prevent spread of the fire onto adjacent buildings. So yesterday, when I met with them and the municipal, I told them that we need to take that bold decision in making sure that we deliberately redesign most of these markets so that there can be access, vehicular access into these markets. After the Adum PZ issue, we started the constructing roads on the other side of the Adum PZ. And when we started, and at a point, we realized that the public was now coming at us as though we were doing something that was untoward. But the point is that until we get that boldness and until we get the cooperation from the people to be able to assist us create these vehicular access into most of these markets, usually when there are these fire incidents, you end up losing almost everything. But I think that we have to hold the bull by the horn and make sure that we redesign most of these markets to meet, as it were, modern demands and be able to prevent some of these things.
And I read that government has made some intervention to those affected by the Swami fire.
Yes. So on behalf of the President and the Gender Ministry, we made some emergency relief opportunities available to them, which includes assorted items and a cash donation of 100,000. That is for the most vulnerable, who may not even be able to feed themselves for a few days. NADMO and the other organizations are doing an assessment, a full one, of the entire losses that occasion at the market, then following which a major intervention can be provided for them.
Okay, and then whilst coming, I saw a big banner, first Regional Security Council meeting. So this will be your first meeting?
Yeah, so this is first Regional Coordinating Council meeting. So the Coordinating Council meeting has, we are expected to meet twice a year. Okay. So all the DCs are part, all presiding members are part, 2 members from the Regional House of Chiefs, then all the regional heads of decentralized institutions are all part. So we're expected to meet. And what's the agenda? Also, we are reviewing sector by sector what we have done in the past 8 years, 8 months, the challenges that are occurring and how we'll be able to intervene. So yesterday, ECG took their time to present. So all the districts had the opportunity to ask them questions pertaining to their services. And power is a very big issue here in Ashanti region. So yesterday, we had a very lengthy discussion with the ECG. Confident with the report they gave you that it will stabilize? Oh, no. So for the past about 3 months, the power situation has changed drastically. Okay. And the complaints we used to get from the field has improved. I remember commending them for that major intervention in stabilizing the sector here in Ashanti. However, more room for improvement. There are some pockets of issues that definitely needs to be resolved. So as the districts bring them up, then they also get to update them. Agric also took their turn. Today, this morning, we will do that of roads, we will do that of the Energy Ministry, among other areas. All right. Minister, in 4 years, how will you want to be remembered? Now, the minister who helped this president to reset Ashanti region. And my vision is the vision of a successful president. Okay. And this job can take a big toll on you. So what do you do to unwind? Just enjoy what you're doing. And I enjoy every bit of what I'm doing. So you don't get to be too stressed or to be too taken aback by events. And it's been helpful. And I have a very good social support system. Friends and elders who I go to or they call me from time to time just to be able to share some of the burden with them and also to take advice from them. And obviously, in between, let's have to take some rest as well. Of course. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you too. It's my pleasure. Great. All right. So that's how we end it. You've been listening to the Ashanti Regional Minister, Dr. Frank Amoakohene. This has been The Pulse. My name is Elton Brobe. Good evening.